Hey guys, how's it going? Call North Coast Constrictors, and welcome back to the channel. I don't have much of a work space to show you guys my hatchlings. Usually when I do a video and I show my hatchlings, I have to hold them, and it's quite awkward. You watch all these other YouTube channels with all the top guys. They put the babies down on a bench and there's someone filming them, and they can focus up to the face while, like, say, Justin Kabolka is talking, or Kevin McCurley, and then go back down to the babies. It's very difficult for me to do that because I've got the camera set up on a tripod with a light. But what I have done is I've set up where I take my photographs. It's just basically an empty rack tub like this. And I normally put my snakes inside there and I take a photograph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my camera and I'm going to put the hatchlings in there. You're not going to see my face, and I'm going to give you a breakdown of the latest clutch that we've hatched out without the awkwardness of having to show you and hold the hatchlings. Okay, it's a beautiful clutch. It's I wouldn't say it's one of a kind, but it's one of the kinds. Very few have been produced of this particular genetic. I stand to be corrected, but I might have been the only one in South Africa to produce this particular combination of morphs in the last couple of years, if not ever. It doesn't mean anything special. Anybody could do it. However, I had a male that was a world's first, an Exantic Super Phantom GHR, which I paired to a Super Pastel Exantic Spider. And that gave me a combination of hatchlings that I pretty much guarantee no one else in South Africa has produced. Now, I do believe that these hatchlings, that this morph, this combination of morphs, was produced a few years ago by Kevin McCurley from NERD, New England Reptile Distributors. Since then, I don't know if it's been done again. I think they are beautiful looking snakes. We had 6 hatchlings. 3 of them hit all of the genes. 3 of them didn't hit all the genes, and those 3 were a combination of genes. Now, before we get started on the video where I show you their hatchlings, there is a debate amongst myself and a few of my friends that are breeders about the possibility. Now, Exantic is a recessive gene. It's the VPI gene. Now, the male is supposedly an Exantic Super Phantom GHR, and the female is an Exantic Super Pastel Spider, which means everything's got to be Exantic. However, everything will be pastel, everything will be Phantom, and everything will be Exantic. Then we'll see what gets the GHI and what gets the Spider and what gets the GHI and Spider. One hatchling came out, and it's a pastel Phantom. Looks like a het Exantic. It's got a slightly yellow coloration, slightly yellow tinge to it, which means that the father, the sire, because the mother is 100% het Exantic, Super Pastel Exantic Spider. The father was a world's first, and when he was produced, and because it was one of a kind, he was identified as an Exantic Super Phantom GHR. However, with this one hatchling coming out and having a slight yellow tinge to it, it made us wonder and ponder now, is the male a 100% het Exantic? So we've sent photographs and videos to a lot of other breeders, and it's a lot of guys, not a lot of guys, but a few guys have said no, it's a pastel Phantom het Exantic, which means that the father's a het Exantic. However, all the others came out visual Exantic. Those are some pretty insane odds. Then another breeder came back to me, and he's very, very clued up with the Exantic gene. I don't drop names until I've bought snakes from guys, and then I give them a shout out. Okay, so the guys that identify snakes, I take their word for it. Now, he got back and said that is an exantic. It's a pastel exantic phantom, but it does have a yellow tinge to it, and he sent me examples of other exantics that have got slightly yellow markings. So all I'm going to say is that the jury is still out on this, whether it's got exantic or not. I know a lot of you are going to look at their hatchling and go, it's not exantic, but then you're going to look at the others, the other 5, and you're going to see how difficult it is to make, for us to make that call. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the hatchlings that we produce. Now, bear in mind that I have searched all over Morph Market, World of Ball Pythons. I've gone to Genetic Wizard. This particular combination of morphs is not for sale anywhere in the world. All of these morphs, we hit the all gene snake, a 6 gene snake, and we hit 3 of them. The rest was 5, and then a 4 of the genes. Incredible odds, fantastic odds. Absolutely mind-numbingly beautiful snakes if you're into the exantic. Yes, it's got spider in it. Okay. The spider makes it look phenomenal. Then there's the other one, which I think is my favorite. One came out which doesn't have the spider gene. It's got everything else, which is my personal favorite, and I'll point it out in the video. But therein lies this love-hate relationship with spider, because it makes that snake look so beautiful, yet everybody's worried about a neurological defect, a head wobble, and so on and so forth. So it's just one of those things. It's either up your alley or it's not. Now, the combination of GHI, Phantom, Pastel, and Exantic with the spider gene, and also being super pastel, super phantom, obviously everything's going to have super pastel and pastel and phantom, you're going to see some incredibly beautiful snakes here. All right, I'd love to hear from you guys if you've seen these snakes before. As I say, Kevin McCurley has produced the very first one, so they're not world's firsts. However, I have searched all the history of Morph Market sales dating back to all sales in all regions across the world. I haven't done World of Ball Pythons that much. I usually use Morph Market. So I stand to be corrected, Joe. What I'm saying is you're going to be seeing some very rare snakes. These are not common. These are certainly the only ones of the kind in South Africa right now. And that is simply because of the male being a world's first. So hang tight and have a look at these babies. Okay guys, so what we have here is one of the first hatchlings. Okay, so you can clearly see the exantic and you can clearly see the spider. Now, this is not an all gene snake. This is a pastel phantom exantic spider. Absolutely incredible looking snake. I'm sure you'll all agree. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. Just love those markings on this particular animal, and yeah, we'll monitor it and see how it sheds out and how it starts looking. But yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with this one. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, guys, what I'm pulling out here is the one in question, where it's a pastel, it's a phantom, and guys are saying it's a het exantic. Okay. However, it's hard for me to accept that it's a het exantic, because I know that the father, I'm like 99.99% certain that the father's an exantic, and I know the mother's an exantic. But you can see here the slight yellowing of this snake, which makes it very, very difficult to make a call. Now, I can understand why a lot of guys have said that this is not an exentic, but rather a het exentic. Then there have a couple of other guys that have looked at this snake and said, without a doubt, you do get a yellow tinge sometimes when combined with other morphs. This is a pastel exentic phantom. Okay, so that's one of the hatchings which come out. Now we're gonna hit the one that I think is the most beautiful of all the hatchlings that we hatched out. This is not the all gene snake. This got everything except the spider. So what you guys are looking at here is a pastel phantom GHR exentic VPI. I think this is without a doubt one of the most stunning snakes I have ever seen. Certainly the only one in South Africa for sure with all of these genes. There are some GHR exentics for sale, but no GHR pastel phantom exentics for sale. So and even in America I've seen GHR pastel exentic or just GHR exentic. But this is a phenomenal snake, 5 gene snake. This one of my absolute favorites and definitely a holdback for the season. Now I'll pull out the first of 3 where we hit the all gene snake here. Okay, so what we have here is a pastel phantom GHR spider exentic VPI. This is a 6 gene snake. I think absolutely incredible. As I say, there is nothing like it on Morph Market. I've entered in all the genetics. I've tried to find it for sale and sold. And just to show you, we have produced 3 of them. Oh, sorry about that. Here's the other 2. They love to curl around each other. So those are the other 2. I know the camera's probably a bit far away, but I can't zoom in and focus. You can see the GHR, how the GHR has opened up those marks there, the dorsal, the stripes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the one that doesn't have the GHR but is just a phantom, and so that you can see as a comparison the markings, how the GHR influence. You see how these black lines are a lot more solid. There is still some influence there, you can see there, but that would be from the pastel, the super pastel. But the GHR really has an effect on those stripes coming down. Also the alien heads over here a lot cleaner. Yeah, you can see, there we go, don't go anywhere. You can see how it's not as clean on the sides here. This is a lot cleaner on the sides. So these are basically these three here hit all the genes. This one missed one of them, but they're all the spider. And then just so you can see all the snakes together, we'll pull all of them out. Now obviously we can see the one here where most people are going, that's not an exentic, and I can understand why. It's a pastel exentic. But looking at the rest of these snakes, this is a very busy one here. It's hard to believe that you'd hit exentic on every single one and then just one here you wouldn't be able to. You didn't get it. But it does clearly look like a phantom pastel het exentic. But yeah, guys, I would love to know your thoughts on this. Very much like to get your take. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust the camera here so that we can get all the snakes in the camera shot. So this is a clutch of 6 eggs that we hatched out. I can assure you that they are the only ones in South Africa right now. And yeah, we'll be letting go 2 of these out of the 3. We'll be letting whatever they are, a male and a female, or 2 males. If whatever happens, we will be keeping back a female if we've got. These others we'll see. This one here absolutely isn't the number one holdback for me for this particular clutch, and absolutely definitely one of these will be our holdback, and we'll let 2 of them go. And probably let this one go as well. I might hold on to this one and see. We'll pair it up again. We'll have to just sex them and see what's going on. Okay, guys, so there you have it. Those are the hatchlings. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you that have got your opinions and going, that one that has got the slight yellow tinge, going, that's heteroxanthic. I fully understand that you'd be thinking that. Just for reference sake, here is a picture of the sire, which is a world's first, Exantic Super Phantom GHI. Otherwise, 100% Heterexantic Super Phantom GHI. And then there is a picture of the pairing, which is the sire and the dame being a Super Pastel Spider Exantic VPR. I'm really hoping that yellow is just a once-off anomaly, and that it is Exantic, and that it maybe fades out, or it does lighten up and goes more silvery in time. Please understand that these snakes have not even had their first shed yet. They will have their first shed in about 4 or 5 days, maybe a little bit longer than that. And we'll see what happens. We'll monitor it. As I say, the jury is still out. We don't know. Definitely the rest are Exantics. As you saw there, my favorite was the Pastel Phantom GHI Exantic. I think that is one of the most beautiful snakes I've seen. I love what the Pastel GHI and Phantom have done with that Exantic, that darkness, that blackness. And of course, having GHI and having pastel is a brightening gene. It will keep those blacks black. The GHI is also a dark gene. Phantom on that as well. The whole combination, it just works. It just works phenomenally. Absolutely thrilled with that clutch of eggs. Thrilled with those hatchlings. Don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. Don't know what's going to be holdbacks. Don't know what we're going to... just trying to streamline what we keep back this year. The collection is getting quite large. We've got a large amount, a lot of hatchlings. We've still got quite a lot of eggs in the incubator. We've still got a couple of females that we've got to lay. You can't keep them all, even though you want to. You have to sell them. You have to sell them. You never sell your best snakes. I always tell the new breeders out there, otherwise you'll just be a hamster on a wheel repeating yourself. You've got to keep back your very best and breed them back at a later stage and create even better genes, and then you let them go a few years down the line, which is what I intend to do. Being a second year breeder, I'm right at the beginning of that cycle. I'm now this year I'll be going into my 3rd year of breeding. The first year was a bit of a write-off, not so successful for me. This is the 2nd year, and so far so good. I'm having a great season. What I think is a great season. For sure, I've had some disappointments. I've had some big letdowns, but I've had some incredible surprises as well. I've hatched out some hatchlings and some babies where we've discovered genes that we didn't think we had in one of the males, and also in the Harpo project, discovered that in fact we think, and I did do my last video, and if you guys watched my last video when I spoke about the Harpo, the pinstripe Harpo, blackhead pinstripe Harpo project, I was saying there's something not normal in these snakes. There's too much red, there's too much rusty color, the orange. I've had a number of people get back to me now. It seems as though, and I'm not staking my name on it yet, it seems that the blackhead that we've got there has got the red gene, the sire. So that seems to be the general consensus. We have traced it back, obviously, from the breeder that I bought the snake from, as well as another breeder that bought from the same clutch, from the same breeder that produced and works with the black pastel red gene, as well as the ringer gene. And one of the breeders, who actually is a very good friend of mine, works a lot with the red gene in the blackhead. The blackhead gene. So it looks like I was right. I was saying it's the Harpo influence that's doing something to the blackhead, where in fact it's actually the red gene in the blackhead that is giving those alien heads and that blushing, that rusty orange color. I had some comments on Facebook. Some guys said you've got orange dream in there. I knew that was impossible because there was just no orange dream in the pairing. However, having the red gene and the black pastel makes perfect sense. If you want to see that video, go back to the last video that I uploaded, and you'll see the babies, you'll see their hatchlings, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. It's very, very hard to say that there isn't the red gene in that blackhead. So let's hope, as I say, the jury's out on that too. But I think it's safe to call. And then we'll see what happens with these hatchlings. Guys, it's the end of the weekend, Sunday night, time for me to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe. Really helps grow the channel, keeps the algorithms going. Would love it if you guys would join the journey with North Coast Constrictors. Over and out from me until the next video. Cheers for now.